What's up, guys? It's another episode of All, and we're talking grassroots as always. As you know, we've had this grassroots series where we've been talking about teams that you might not have heard about before, or in just lower divisions in general, a lot of that. So today we're here with Charlie Flowe, and we're going to be talking a little bit about his team, and we're going to question him like no other, so he better be ready. But we'll talk and see what Jake's been up to first, and then we'll go to Charlie, and then we'll start the show. Let's go to
All
Jake.
right.
Hey, Jake.
Hey everyone, it's Jake. I'm actually in Michigan. I'm with my in-laws' lake house. I don't know if you can see from my view here. You can kind of see the lake, kind of, if the lighting's okay. But yeah, I'm just hanging out, celebrating Memorial Day with the family. So just chilling.
Nice. You say where are you at now?
Lake Leanne, which is Somerset Center, which is like right about there, right in the middle.
Okay. Nice. I don't know where any of that is at, but nice. Very nice. Very nice. Charlie, what have you been up to?
Just doing a lot of coaching, getting the season started. With Ocean City Nor'easters, we have 4 senior teams. So one of our teams has already started the season up. The other teams we're in training camp right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to definitely learn a lot about that, like I say, because it seemed very interesting. I got to read up a bit on it, so this should be a fun experience for people to learn a little bit more about the Nor'easterners. Yeah, I keep messing up the name. Ocean City. For me. All right, guys. If you well, it's the morning, so this is recording, so I know no one's watching live, so we'll jump right into it. Okay. No one should be watching live. All right, so I guess we'll talk more so about the history of the league. Would you like to give us a little bit about that, Charlie?
Yeah, so we have our senior team, which kind of the team was founded around as our PDL team. They play in the USL League, which is broken down into different leagues, and we play in the PDL, which is a kind of a player development type of league where we work with college players, prospective college players, players that are looking to go professional or just trying to really better their game to the next level. And we have added a couple other teams. We added a U20 men's team. We've added a U23 men's team, and we've also added a U23 women's, which I'm the assistant coach of.
Nice. All right, Jake, if you'd like to start the question, we begin with you.
Yeah, I guess, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Ocean City and how you became assistant coach?
Yeah, I've been doing a soccer radio show kind of like you guys do for about 6 years now, and Ocean City, New Jersey is one of my favorite destinations, so I've been going down there just taking in the games as a fan and as media for the last 6 years and got to know a lot of the staff, coaches, players, and even the ownership, and they contacted me back in the winter, about January, December, asking me to come on and do their radio/television for their men's team, and went to a couple of the tryouts, started talking to the ownership and staff, and then they offered me a job being the assistant women's coach.
And did you know the head coach before you'd done all that, or?
No, the head coach is Bill O'Neill. We'd gotten to know each other, over the phone and via email and texting before we actually met in February, and we had our first tryout for the women's team in March. So got to know Bill. He had known some of the coaching staff there, so we've clicked on all cylinders. He's got a lot of the same mindset and mentality than me, very positive coach, a very grassroots kind of guy. It's looking to help grow the women's game.
All right, I guess my questions are pretty simple. I remember you saying it was a Jersey-based league. Can you tell people about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so the women, we play in the EDP, so we're kind of a Jersey-based league, the women's league that we're in. We are broken down into 2 kind of conferences or divisions, where there's a north and a south, so we will mostly play teams in South Jersey, and then there's teams in the north that will be mostly North Jersey teams. So it's very regional, located, very local, so it is kind of interesting because all the games will be within an hour drive of the stadium or our home base, and a lot of local feeling because a lot of these players play together in club level, play against each other in college, so you'll have former teammates going against each other, and then even within the league, our team is made up of a bunch of different colleges in the area, so there's a lot of players on the team that play together in high school, play together in club, and now they're reuniting for the summer to play in a summer league.
Nice. All right, Jake, back to you.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, like, what's it like starting a team up from scratch? You said you were kind of talking with ownership, back in the winter, and everything seems like it's coming together pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's very, very tedious and a lot of hours put into it that I might put more hours into recruiting and building this team than I actually will do working with the team this year. But it's year one. We're the first year of having a women's team, so I've emailed thousands and thousands of coaches, made phone calls, emails, just reaching out, just trying to build a good roster and a makeup of players that really want to better their game and just have a love for the game. So it's been an interesting task of recruiting and finding players that are looking for a team and just trying to find the right players that fit into our chemistry.
I guess that leads into my question. What type, I guess you would say, I remember when we were talking with the Motor City coach, and even when you were talking to the Steel City coach, owner and coach as well, you said like each area has a certain type of style. What would you say is the Jersey style of playing? Like what type of style would you relate to the area?
Yeah, I mean, Jersey's been such a hotbed for producing, athletes on the men and women's side. We've seen so many players come through the system, like Rampone, Kelly O'Hara, just so many. Tobin Heath, those are all Jersey players. Carly Lloyd. So the one thing that really Jersey players bring is a very physical game that they're not afraid to get dirty and play rough, if you should say. So it's one of those things where really good to build a defensive style team, but the other side is we're going to be playing a lot of other teams that are similar style of play. So I think that's what I love about the Jersey. Even some of the players we've got on the team have Philly connections. That it's a very hard-working type of player. That's kind of how the U.S. women build their championships around physical play. They might not be the best skilled team, but they'll insert themselves physically and make you play 90 minutes.
Nice, Jake.
I guess I was wondering, why did the organization choose to enter the EDP versus maybe looking to go towards a WPSL or a more national-based league?
Yeah, I mean, there's the challenges of having a first-year team that a lot of it's the buy-in and the cost. When you go into the higher leagues, you have a buy-in price that's a lot higher, and then you have to factor in travel. Okay, all of our games are within an hour or so drive, so we'll all kind of carpool, not have to get a team bus. We'll all just kind of meet at the games, whether for a home game or road game, won't be that far of a drive. But when you start getting into the bigger league, like I said, there's the buying cost, and then you look into, okay, you got to get a team bus, which is another overhead cost. And if it's far enough away trip, maybe you have to fly, or you got to look into getting a hotel room. So these are all huge costs that are involved that we're still just a first-year team on the women's side that, if we get more sponsors, that's why jersey sponsors, as much as outsiders kind of make fun of soccer jerseys having logos and advertise on the front, but things like that are income for a team. So as we move forward, if we get bigger sponsors and more people throwing money, at the women's game, then yeah, we can expand and move to a higher league. But we like the idea of being a local league, so we can have the girls play against some of their former teammates and even their college teammates.
Mm-hmm. My question would be then, I guess piggybacking off of that, do you see like down the road this team actually trying to move up to a little bit of a higher league?
Yeah, definitely. That's the plan, and it's kind of a double-edged sword that we have a very local product and our local players that every time you move up to a bigger league, then you start getting in the bigger like multi-star type of talent out, full scholarship type of talent, but honestly, right now, I'm very happy with the league that we're in. I'm happy with the players that we have. We have a lot of players that are, hungry players that are just trying to better their game. And a lot of them aren't thinking mindset, I'm going to go professional one day. When you start working in some of the other leagues, you get a lot of players that's, their minds are set on, I want to go pro, and their focus is on the individual, not the team. Where right now we got every single player on this roster is focused on the team.
Nice. All right, Jake.
I guess this is kind of speculation here on my part, but you've had ties with Sky Blue in the past. Has there been any discussion about maybe sharing a little bit of resources and maybe identifying some players that might be a good fit for Ocean City?
No, we actually have talked about that. I'm real good friends with all the coaching staff and a lot of the players. That there is that option we've talked about before with, hey, if we're strapped on players right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be short on players. Looks like we have a pretty solid 22, 23 players right now we're working on. Make a few more announcements this week on signings. But, the door is open. We've had some really nice discussions, privately with Ocean City and Sky Blue about that, hey, maybe some of your reserve players on Ocean City Sky Blue, would like to get some reps in, and we're keeping our practice kind of open to their players if they want to train and they want to come down to the shore and get a few reps in with us. That option is there, because that is the one thing that does think about these professional leagues. You have a lot of players that just don't get play time, and some of them are still technically registered as an amateur player. So we could take in an amateur-style player for our team, but we can't take in professionals. We can't pay them. So players that are still on the amateur side that aren't offered a contract with Sky Blue, that are just working out with the team, there is that option that, hey, they can come work out with us, they can come train with us, and if we're really kind of strapped on players, which we don't think we will be, but there is always that option that if they needed to jump on the roster for us, might do a 1 or 2 game loan type situation. So yeah, that has been discussed, and it's something we definitely looked into.
All right, my question, Charlie, is for a first-year team, has it been hard trying to recruit? Like, how do you sell a first-year team, or just your experience in general of being like a recruiter, I guess, out there for the team?
I think a lot of it is just spreading the knowledge that we exist, because you have a lot of the women who've played in their different type of leagues and different clubs where we never had a women's senior team, so a lot of them never even heard of us. But then we had a decent amount of them that played. We had a U15 team a couple of years back. I think it was maybe early 2010 or something like that. We had a U15 women's team, and 3 of those players that were on our U15 team at Ocean City are now on this roster. So a lot of it is word of mouth. We get 1 or 2 players that have heard of us, and they start spreading the word. And then we also looked into recruiting some of the players that worked in Ocean City in the summer that, hey, you still get to work at your job, and you come work out with us in the evening and play on the weekend. They're already in the area. So a lot of it's just spreading the word in basic education. And we now have a women's program, and you can play. And it's a very easy pitch, because I guess you guys, when you get a chance, everybody listen to the show, and you guys should Google where our stadium is. We play right next to the high school in Ocean City. I kid you not, we play about 200 feet from the ocean, so you can hear the ocean we play. So that becomes a very easy pitch that, hey, we play on the boardwalk, and it's a very family-friendly. It's voted like one of the best beaches in America every year, so it's got a lot of things to offer. So it's not a hard pitch at all for the men or women to, hey, come live down at the shore for the summer. Some of our rehab situation with the men, we'll take them down to the beach and do a swim the day after a game as part of our rehab.
So it's very easy to sell, it sounds like. I think I'm going to try out for the team with a wig, so I'll be there soon.
Do it, man.
All right, Jake.
Yeah, I guess I was curious about what the training is like for a team like this. Is it a 5-day-a-week schedule? Is it evenings, twice a week, and then games on the weekend? What's it like with the periodization for this league?
Yeah, with the U23 women, we're only practicing 2 days a week. We're practicing Tuesday nights and Thursday nights for about an hour and a half each night. And I think that the realistic side is we have a lot of the players on the team that aren't full ride scholarship type of players, so they need to have a job in the summer. So we have to be realistic. That, with the PDL team, majority of those guys on the team are all scholarship type of players, so they're given room and board for the summer. So yeah, they'll practice 5 times, 6 times a week and do stuff almost every day, where we just really can't ask that of our girl players, because the realistic side is they have jobs, they have lives, some are taking summer classes. So realistically, we would love to bump up to the next level to be able to train with them multiple times a week, because there is always that little handicap Bill and I joke about every day. That hour and a half goes by so fast that really we only get to work with the players 3 hours a week, and we'll have the games about 1 game every weekend. So it's not a lot of prep. But, a lot of these players are very smart, understand the game, that a lot of it is just getting them all on the same page.
Nice. All right, I guess I'll ask you, so what has been your experience? How much coaching have you done for this?
You broke up there. Say that again?
I was saying, how much coaching have you done before this, actually, before you got with Ocean City?
Yeah, I've been coaching about 15 years at all the levels, the youth level. I've coached all the way up to working with young high school kids all the way down to the youth levels of 6, 7-year-old kid type of teams. So I've been doing that for about 15 years, and I've done a lot of one-on-one type of training. I do camps, so I've brought a lot of experience. I've also done some college coaching where I worked with a couple goalkeepers at a college I coached at back in the fall. So bring a lot of different angles of the game. That there's no particular area that I like more than the other. I think each has its own reward and each has its own challenge.
Nice. Jake?
And when you're building this team, I guess, do you try to bring your own style to the team, or do you try to like analyze what players you have at your disposal and try to build a style of play off of what do you have?
Yeah. I think that we're going to do with the second one you said, kind of build around with what we have. Since we're a first-year team and it was just a matter of let's build a roster, we're not to the point where we can be picky enough that we can reject players or we can target certain players that want to fit our system. I think that we will build a system around what we have, and I think that our biggest challenge now is which players are going to get majority of the play time. But it's a good thing that it's a developmental league, and there's a lot of loose substitution rules where unlike the pros where you only get 3 subs a game, and I know PDL I think you get 6 subs a game, where this is a lot more open like high school style. So I think the biggest thing is just building with what we have, and I think we have a great bunch of players, and I don't think there's going to be any problems of figuring out a style to play, and that's something Bill and I just talked about Thursday is what type of formation and what the system would run, so that'll probably be our next discussion. I definitely will let you guys know as soon as I find out, too.
All right, sounds good, definitely. Jake, do you have any more questions you want to ask? Or?
Yeah, I guess, looking at your Twitter, you're all over the place. You have your web show, you've got you're coaching here, and you also are an ESL teacher. What are you most passionate about, I guess, and how do you juggle all your responsibilities?
Yeah, it's definitely a very challenging juggle this time of the year, but my school year's wrapped up. I luckily using my vacation days now to focus more on the soccer part of it. I mean, my passion I think is soccer and developing the game. It's just teaching kids and young players how to better themselves and how to prepare themselves for the game. So that's definitely what I really have my heart into. I love my education side of it, but I think the neat part about coaching is really you use your style to make the game better, where if you get results on the field and develop these players, I mean, that's your goal. It's not really the result on the score in the field. Yeah, we do want to win our games, but our goal is to make every one of these players better, so when they go to their college programs, they're a better player. And I think that part's neat because there's just so much learning these players can still do, and as a coach, we're learning from them as well.
Cool. And do you have any long-term goals as a coach, or?
I think long-term goal would probably be a head coach at a college. I've been an assistant coach in a lot of different roles in my life, but one of the things is to be a head coach, but there also is the part where I really enjoy being an assistant coach. I've done a lot of goalkeeper work as assistant coach, and that kind of neat is it kind of becomes my craft that, hey, I can really focus on these individuals. When you get about 3 goalkeepers to work with, like with Ocean City, we have 2 that you really get a lot of one-on-one type of time with these players, where a head coach might have 23, 25 players. Really, the individual coach to player ratio is very low, so you don't get a lot of that individual time. Where an assistant coach, where I might focus on defenders for a day or focus on midfield, you get to do a lot of that personal, get to know the player and what makes them tick, and really get to know them at that personal level. And a lot of programs will have an assistant coach that's in charge of recruiting, or this coach is in charge of personnel, and I've really enjoyed that aspect in recruiting for Ocean City. I brought probably, I'd say, maybe about 80% of the players on this team. I really had a lot of direct contact with, several phone calls, several texts, emails, and you really get to know the athlete and get to know them on a personal level. So I think that really helps when it comes game day, because they're playing for somebody they care about, and then I'm coaching somebody I really care about.
That's really cool. I guess another last couple questions here. Is there a long-term goal that Ocean City has in terms of where this team might be in 5 years or so?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you had mentioned about playing in the bigger, more national leagues, and that's always the goal. But we want to definitely stay an amateur style team, because that's kind of the agreement we have with the city of Ocean City, that they like the idea that we're an amateur team. They don't want us to be a professional team. We have such an agreement with the city that we don't want to mess with that at all. They take care of us so well down the city. They really just kind of, I wouldn't say roll the red carpet out for us, but they kind of do. They treat us like semi-celebrities. It's a small little town, but all the players are wearing like I'm wearing my shirt now. You're around town, you're getting coffee, you're getting some food, and people are like, oh, wow, you coach or you play for the team. They really treat you with a lot of respect. That minor league feel, small town feel that they really like the product they're doing, and we do so much in the community helping little kids out. Like we go read books to little kids, and we do local visits to hospitals. So it's really kind of that thing is we want to be bigger on the women's side. We would love that, but right now we're very happy that it's a local product and it's a local league. So right now I'd say we're just happy where we are, and we'll see what the future beholds.
When is your guys' next game?
Yeah, our first game, we're looking to have a couple scrimmages, maybe the first week of June, but our home opener will be sometime in the second week of June. What we're trying to do is either have a double header or maybe a Friday night type of game, but that's the neat part is that all of our games are right on the boardwalk. We're trying to figure out the schedule now. We're just trying to get a few of the pieces together. What it is with our schedule, they gave us kind of a template that they told us what teams are playing and what weekends we're playing, so it's just kind of up to the two clubs to agree. Is it going to be a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night to kind of make it accommodate with both clubs? So that part is kind of where some leagues will just tell you you're playing this weekend, you're playing that weekend, you're playing at this time. This gives us the flexibility of working with both clubs and then our player schedules, because like I said, it goes back to live players' work and then they have lives, so we have to make it work for every party involved.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, we'll definitely promote that for you. So just tell us exactly when. We might even throw a little contest for you guys for something like that. Jake, you have anything else you want to add?
No, thank you for having me, guys.
I have one more question, even though it is a non-soccer, since I have a passion for soccer and food, so I have to ask every question. So if you were stranded on a desert island, Charlie, and you only could eat one food for a month, what would it be?
Man, this is going to be bad. You know, I'm such a sucker for Philadelphia. I've been here for about 20 years, and it's such a like a corny answer to Philadelphia, but cheesesteak, man. I had I'm not gonna lie, I actually had it sounds like I'm like a really fatty. I had 3 cheesesteaks yesterday. I was busy working on the and I mean, they were little ones. They were only 6 inches, but that's my thing in Philadelphia. It's one of those things. If you say you don't like a cheesesteak, you might as well just leave. So it's but I'm gonna have to start getting used to a little more seafood down in Ocean City. That's something they're really known for down there. So I might have to change over to maybe some fish and chips or something.
Nice. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll definitely have to stop. I want to go through Philly just to have some cheesesteak, but enough of food because I could talk about that for days.
Yeah, we can just have a whole other segment.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Charlie. This was another episode of All.
Wait. Where can we follow Charlie on Twitter, and where can we find Ocean City?
Yes, yeah, and his show, because his show is cool too.
Yeah, Ocean City's Twitter account is OC for Ocean City, OC Nor'easters. That's OCNOREASTERS, Nor'easters. So that's Ocean City Nor'easters on Twitter. Our .com is oceancityfc.com, and I'm at DJ Flowe on Twitter. So yeah, follow us all, hit us up. We'll definitely be thinking of you guys, and thank you for having me on the show.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Now I'll get into my role. It was another episode of Off the Post. I'm your host, DJ Redcap, and this is another Grassroots edition, so definitely tune in tomorrow for our next main episode, and see you guys soon. Wait. Bye-bye. And stop broadcasting now. Should stop. My computer's free. Just stop. It's not stopping. Please stop.
It won't stop. Stop.
It won't stop. We'll sit here and smile at you guys for a second. Literally, my computer's freezing while this is happening.
This is great. This is a great end to the show.
So we'll just,